Fridays are kind of getting a little bit weird for me. So I teach, some of you know that I teach at Virginia Commonwealth University, our Da Vinci Center, which is like the coolest part of any university that you've ever experienced. And so one of the classes I'm teaching this semester is how to build and leverage your professional network on LinkedIn. So that happens over my lunch break on Fridays. So we're moving our lives back just a little bit, just a couple minutes to give me time to do that. But today, my students were building out their headlines, and they inspired me to start to revamp my headline. And then I got all excited about that. But anyway, we spent so much time today talking about like finding your why and how do you marry your why with interesting things about you. And like some of the stuff that my students do is just absolutely mind-bogglingly amazing. And so I got like really, really into that and lost track of time. So I'm late and I'm really sorry about that, but that's my own hot mess express that this is the way that it works in my life. Anyway, so welcome to Club Fuck It Bucket, the place where we talk about moments in our life when we want to do something and the universe and the whole world kind of, and people around us are like, don't do that. It's too risky. It's too scary. And we're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do the thing and see what happens. So Thomas, I'm so sorry that I kept you waiting. I was having so much fun with my students, y'all. They're just amazing. Fantastic people. So my new headline, I'm working on it, and I want suggestions, is if you're looking for me, you can always find me at the corner of Fuck Around and Find Out. I'll be the one wearing the fabulous shoes and finding out the hard way. But now I have to figure out how to put what I actually do in there as well, which is really hard because not only do I teach, which is kind of my part-time passion project, and mentor entrepreneurs, but I also, of course, work for Duckbill Group, and we help people to optimize their AWS bills, which sounds like really boring, but is actually pretty interesting and a lot of fun. So anyway, tons of, yes, cousins do come second to students. Sorry about that. And just so y'all know, Thomas and I aren't real cousins, but we're both from like the same area of Kentucky. And so the odds of us being related to, like in some way, are very, very high. So we just call each other cousins. But so here I am. It's just me. Y'all know I always get really nervous whenever it's just me on these things. I don't know why. But there's 100% a moment where I'm like, what do I have to say that's interesting? But this time I do think that I have something to say that's interesting because I just got back from fucking around Europe for a couple of weeks. And y'all, I had so much fun. It was amazing. It was exactly what I did. Was a crazy ass trip. It was exactly what I needed. But the level of chaos that I invite into my life is just beyond the pale. So like, if you are one of those people who invites chaos into your life, like pop into the comments and let me know that I'm not alone in this. But my trip was crazy in a way that only I can make things crazy. It's just one of those things. So here's what happened. As first I went to Lisbon. Lisbon is one of those cities, I swear I could live there. Now I can't live anywhere for very long, so it's like a 1 to 2 year thing whenever I say that, but amazing, like gorgeous city, so walkable. The history is incredible. The people and the food is like, oh my God, so good. So if you've been to Lisbon and you love it as much as I do, let me know. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I'll be posting a couple of pictures later on today that will kind of show you some of the things that I did, but it was absolutely amazing. While I was there, you will appreciate this. So I'm a solo traveler. I love to travel by myself. It's my favorite thing. First of all, like I always do the things that I find interesting. And so like, I don't have to worry about somebody else who wants to do boring stuff. I'm a great conversationalist with myself. I only talk about things I'm interested in and not things I'm not interested in. And I love the type of food that I love. And so I can sit and I can eat by myself and it's amazing. But I had one meal where I didn't have to eat by myself because I like picked up a meal hitchhiker, which sounds, now that I think about it and say it out loud, a little bit weird, but very typical me. So first thing that I did when I got to Lisbon is I had made myself a hair appointment at a salon there because I needed to get my hair cut. You can't tell now because I look like as Amy Wills would say, I look like a trollop. Um, I look a little bit like a troll today. But so I made an appointment to get my hair cut because I was like, I'll find like this fabulous hairdresser and go have this amazing experience. And I did, and it was absolutely amazing. And so one of the things that I asked my hairdresser when I was getting it done was like, if you were going to go out, take yourself out to like a special dinner or go on a date, where would you go? So he gave me this recommendation for a hotel that's on the rooftop, that has a rooftop restaurant. So I go, I'm like dressed up and I get there and I take the elevator up and I go and I walk in. I'm like, it's just me. Can I sit outside? And the maitre d' was so nice and was like, oh, absolutely not. No, if you're not a guest here, we can't serve you. And I was like, oh, like, could I have lied and been like, oh yeah, they make documentaries. Yes, scary documentaries out of meal hitchhikers. So I was like, could I have lied and been like, yeah, I'm in room 312 or something like that. But I can't ever pull that. You just say y'all as y'all. It's universal. Everybody knows y'all. So I was like, oh, that's really sad. So I turn around to leave and I realize that there's another woman who's waiting for the elevator who clearly went through the exact same process that I just went through. And so I was like, just start talking to her because that's what I do, especially when I'm nervous. I just talk. And so I started talking to her and I was like, same situation as me. And she's like, yeah, I guess I have to find somewhere else to eat. And so I was like, well, let's go get dinner together. And y'all, the look on her face was like, okay. I didn't even think about it. I was like, new friend, let's go be friends, whatever. So she goes, we start talking, super, super interesting human. Her name is Tabitha. She lives in New York City. And the reason she was in Lisbon, she was vacationing with her sisters. Her passport got stolen out of her purse. And she has US and Philippine citizenship. And her Filipino passport took like 6 weeks to get there. So she was just stuck in Portugal and she couldn't leave. She couldn't leave the country. So her sisters went on to have the rest of their vacation in France and then go home. And she's just there all by herself. So anyway, we find a place we want to go. We go to dinner. We had so much fun. We're Instagram friends now and we're planning to have lunch in New York City whenever I go up next month. So that's amazing. And if you're in New York City and you want to have lunch with us, let me know because I can introduce you to a new friend. Anyway, Lisbon, absolutely amazing. Then I leave Lisbon and head to Madrid so that I can meet a friend, and we're going to surf school together in Fuerteventura, which is one of the Canary Islands. Now, first of all, if I had done my research and if I had used my brain at all whatsoever, I would have realized that all the videos that I watched of Fuerteventura show that it is 100% a desert island. But in my brain, I somehow thought it was going to be this lush, jungly island because that's what surfing is to me. So we show up and it's just volcanic rock on one side and sand dunes on the other. And the surf camp that we went to is in the middle of nowhere on this island, like nothing around. There's a city over here and a city over here, and then here's the surf camp. But it's gorgeous. Like they did such a good job with it. And the really neat thing about it was that it's completely solar powered. So it's off the grid 100%, which is fantastic until something with the solar panels break. It's it probably takes an hour to drive from one end of the island to the other. So it's not huge. But a lot of winding roads and things. It's not a super big one. There's one kind of biggish city and then a couple of smaller little areas. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous once you get over the fact that it's a desert island and there's nothing green on the whole fucking island. It's just brown, but gorgeous. And the waves were like chef's kiss. They were absolutely amazing. The surf instructors were fantastic. And the people at the surf camp were also the nicest people. My friend and I were the only Americans. So a lot of Germans, a lot of Swiss. We had a few people from the Netherlands. Sweden, France, you name it. So it was great. I got to spend the whole week speaking German, which was so much fun. And I think I was a little bit worried about how bad my German would be, but I didn't lose as much of it as I thought that I would. So anyway, fantastic. There are 30 of us at the surf camp. We're divided into 2 different blocks of rooms. And the first thing that happened is my friend and I walk into the room and there's been some sort of mix up. And so we walk in and there are 6 beds. And we've been put in a dorm room with 4 other people. We're like, what is going on? This is not how we plan to spend our time. So we asked and they were like, there has been a mix up, but we can't really do anything about it. Are you going to be okay? And we're like, yeah, it'll be fine. Well, by the end of it, we were like amazing friends with everybody else in the room and they were so much fun. So I'm like really glad that that's what happened. But so we're in this dorm room. My friend is 55. I'm 43. And then we've got like 2 24-year-olds and a couple of 23-year-olds in there. So it's definitely like going to summer camp. And here's something about me that y'all don't know that I don't really talk about is I'm a nervous pooper. Like I don't do that well around people. And so I was like, how am I going to manage this? Like finding time when there's nobody of the 6 people in the room so that I can go to the bathroom because there are no like shared area bathrooms I can sneak into in the middle of the night or anything. So I'm nervous about this and I'm kind of freaking out. Like this is the only thing that I see a problem with. And I think I could have figured it out, except for the fact that something broke on our solar panel system. And it was meant to be. Like two of the people in our camp and I are planning to go to Bali in May together, actually. So it was great. 2 of our roommates. Really excited. So anyway, solar panels break, and all of a sudden, power keeps going out in the camp. So we've got like intermittent power. And because everything is like attached to the solar panels, we don't have water. And then when we do have water and it's on, none of it's hot because it hasn't been like in the system to keep it warm, right? So we've got no hot water, half the time no water, and no flushing toilets. Y'all, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Especially when it's early in the morning and everyone's getting ready to put on wetsuits and go spend hours out surfing. And like, if you go into the ocean, here's the thing about surfing is, first of all, you tend to do it first thing in the morning. So like poop time, right? And then second thing is the minute you get in the water and you drink that first thing of like salt water, it just clears you out and you have to go if you haven't gone yet. So you have all these people going like, we got to go, and nowhere to go because the toilet's so flush. So we finally figured out that you could like scoop pool water out and like pour it into the thing, but it doesn't matter because I'm stuck in this situation where we've got 6 people in one room and everyone is lined up to go to the bathroom at the same time. It was so bad. It was the worst. Like I just spent my whole vacation, my whole time at surf camp, low key freaking out about when I was going to go take a poo. And the more nervous I get, the more I have to go anyway. So that sounds like prison. Maybe, yeah. Like I don't know that I would survive. It was just like one of those where like, because in my brain I had thought, like, here's what I can do is I can just like put it around taking a shower, right? So I can turn on the shower. There's noise. I can like play music. And I'm like, I'm just showering. So nobody knows that I actually have bodily functions because I don't really like to admit it, except for the fact that I'm literally sitting here on a LinkedIn Live talking about it. And I was like, I can totally like play this off, right? Except when there's no water, you can't turn on the water. And when there's no hot water, you're definitely also not taking a shower. So you can't even like pretend about it. It was the worst. It was so like, it was horrible, that part. But the rest of it was absolutely amazing. Had our week there. You know what? I've run out of time. I can't even tell you the rest of it. So wait until next time I get on here and I get to tell you about my crazy trip to Granada and the fact that I was literally this close, 100% this close in a car to being the American tourist who got my car stuck on a cobblestone street dead end in Granada and having to have it airlifted out. because the streets in Granada go straight up a mountain and they start like barely car size. And then as they go up the mountain, they go to like motorcycle to moped to bike to human to like no dead end. It's just a dead end, but there aren't signs. And I just kept getting stuck. And then my car got stuck. And I didn't know how to get it out. And I was like in a stick shift, which is fine. I'm pretty good with a stick shift, but on mountain roads that are like this, right? And I'm like up and back and up and back. And then I had this old Spanish guy get out and start yelling at me. He was like, motherfucking Americans are the ones who are always causing problems. And I got really nervous and I started crying and I couldn't get my car out. So like I'm just telling you now, I finally just put on the parking brake and then I get out and I was like, fine, you fucking do it. And this guy gets my rental car and like just goes along the side of the building to get me out of the spot I was stuck in. And all I could think was, I'm gonna be the one on the news. The American who can't drive in Granada and literally has to have it's like a helicopter come in and like pull my car out. Thomas, I can't snort on demand. I mean, I can like, but I can't snort laugh on demand. It just happens. So anyway, that was my trip to Lisbon and Spain. There's so much more to it. Happy to tell you about it, but I'm out of time. And my amazing producer, Chris Hennessy, who, by the way, if you're thinking of doing live shows, reach out to him because it's the only reason that y'all get to see me on here with a regularity is because he is my he takes care of everything. Scheduling. Like, come on. Can y'all see this? Can you see the headlines? Like, stupid American drives stick shift car up to the tops of Granada, gets her car stuck, and has to be airlifted out of the and then it's like, it's April freaking Plummer. Ah, it's so true. Anyway, that's my story. That's what I got for you today. Next week, join me. We don't have a guest for Wednesday. So if you are wanting to come on and share your Fuck a Bucket story next Wednesday, hit me up. Friday, we have Squire Pettis, who's joining us, who's one of my very favorite humans in the whole wide world. And we are officially opening up the books for this quarter to book guests. So come hit me up, slide into my DMs. Let us get you on the show. We cannot wait to hear from you. I hope that you all have an amazing weekend, amazing Halloween, which is the best holiday of the year. And I will be giving out mini margaritas on my front porch. So if you're in Richmond, come by and trick or treat me, and I'll give you a shot of strawberry margarita on the way. All right, y'all. Happy Fuck It Bucket. Happy Friday.